Thanks for tuning back in. I'm Tommy Campbell, still bald, still in my basement, and still laughing at John Schneider finally landing a starring role. This time it's in a Secret Service probe over his hanging comments, though. I guess when your career took off less than Trump's airline, you can get a bit salty. I grew up a massive Dukes of Hazzard fan, and it turns out Boss Hogg was the good guy. Guess we could have predicted the fella in a half-button-down shirt playing a moonshiner with a Confederate flag on the top of his car would have eventually drifted into full right-wing lunacy. Santa swung by Michigan early, dropping off November 2020 audio of Donald Trump pressuring Republican canvassers in Wayne County, Michigan. I'll be having a laugh getting into what we know about the call and who else was there. Also, America's loser, Rudy Giuliani, was spotted hitting up an ATM and filing for bankruptcy. I've joked many times that Rudy looks like he crawled out of a P.F. Chang's dumpster, but it won't be long until that will be his actual residence. I get into the good and bad with Rudy's bankruptcy filing. There's more sane comments from Lumpy Pillow Mike Lindell. I check in with Marjorie Taylor Greene for a holiday bunker visit and more, but first this.
Primaries are a pathetic joke, and for everyone who asks me out there, are we gonna have any of these people involved? Let's make a big tent. No. We only want the best and the brightest. Trump is going to win. Get it together. Get your head on straight. And none of those people, those fake Republicans, rhinos, I'll throw the RNC in there with that. All these people have to go. They're not going to be part of our team. They suck. We're not going to reward them. They're traitorous, they're disloyal, and they're unqualified. So that's it. I've had enough with all those people. I know who I'd like in there. Let's get Bannon back in, and Kash Patel, and Mike Davis, and Rick Grenell, and Alina Hava, and let's...
Get your head on straight. How long does it take this Kiss dressing room Bon Jovi wig factory explosion survivor to get her head on? The MAGA Newsmax Fox look is just so weird. They are as natural as their supporters' diet of spray can cheese and Mountain Dew. I do love her rattling off the names of disgraced people as if they are heroes when she's just listing the credits of a failed compilation. It is pouring MAGA tears. Join the great subscribers in the comments while I mock the latest and stupid and more. The Detroit News reports it obtained audio of Donald Trump pressuring two Wayne County canvassers, Monica Palmer and William Hartman, not to certify Joe Biden's win. Donald Trump personally made an 11-minute call to the two members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers, and it said that RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel was also on the call. So far, this account has not been disputed by Trump or Ronna. The person who made the recording is unknown, but another party heard the audio and turned it in. Who was recording this, we don't know. But if they had the small scent that Trump was going down, even the biggest supporters in his orbit, some may have been likely to make audio to save face or to use as leverage. The audio includes Trump referencing the Wayne County posts he'd made online, Trump making the claim that there were more votes than voters, and that there was no way they could certify the election.
They turned in their electors. They had more voters than votes in places where it's against their law. You can't have more voters than votes.
Now, according to Verizon phone records that were previously obtained by the January 6th committee, this call was 11 minutes long. And the Detroit News reporter says they only heard 4 minutes of it. So fingers crossed the rest gets out there. But here are some quotes from the call.
I need to stay as president to impress my hot daughter. She's so terrific. Help me make this happen. Look, you're Michigan, you do square pizza with the sauce on top. If you can get away with those stupid pies, then this small favor for me should be no problem.
I'm not sure what's going on here. Sorry about that. Guys, come on.
We've got to fight for our country. We can't let these people take our country away from us.
Ronna McDaniel added, if you can go home tonight, do not sign it. We will get you attorneys. And Trump backed her up saying,
we'll take care of that.
Here's the thing, the two canvassers on that November 17, 2020 call left the meeting without signing the official statement of votes for Wayne County, and they reportedly unsuccessfully attempted to rescind their votes in favor of certification by filing legal affidavits claiming they were pressured when they were actually pressured by Trump and Ronna McDaniel, Mitt Romney's niece. Weird. This is the president on tape with the head of the RNC pressuring Michigan officials not to sign this document And they didn't. Trump is facing several indictments for his alleged efforts to subvert the 2020 presidential election, and this is more evidence of that. And it's on tape. I guess Christmas came early for Jack Smith. And there's a chance Trump could face criminal charges in Michigan because according to Michigan bribery law, any person who shall corruptly give, offer, or promise to any public officer, agent, servant, or employee any gift, gratuity, money, property, or other valuable thing, the intent of purpose of which is to influence the act, vote, opinion, decision, or judgment of such public officer, agent, servant, or his action on any matter, question, cause, or proceeding which may be pending or may by law be brought before him in his public capacity, or the purpose and intent of which is to influence any act or omission relating to any public duty of such officer, agent, servant, or employee shall be guilty of a felony. But hey, Biden loaned Hunter some money to go towards buying a Ford Raptor. Criminal mastermind.
Yeah, they're right here.
Yeah, there you go, you guys. The flannel sheets, we actually, now this is really important, everybody listen here. The flannel sheets sold out. We got some in, right away they were gone. But now we're actually selling these. The ship comes in next Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe. But you can still do that shipping. I talked about that upgraded shipping that's guaranteed by Christmas. So this is your last chance to get these flannel sheets. Get them on sale right now. And these are just in. When they're gone, they're gone. We're actually getting it. We won't be getting in these yet. We're kind of pre-selling them for the next, right here on Lindell TV. Brandon, you should do this on your show tonight too. I'm telling you, these, we have very limited supply and you can still, like I say, get them for they're the best flannel sheets you're ever going to sleep on in your life.
When the ship comes in, from overseas, again, not everything is made in America, and that's fine. But don't make made in America the cornerstone of your business when only a few products are. In fact, let's find out where his flannel sheets are coming from. Pakistan. Thank you. I see every tip from pennies to dollars. They are hugely appreciated and help make this show possible. If you love what I do here and you can afford to help out, throw me a buck with the PayPal link in the pinned comment or drop me a super thanks with this button. And please take 2 seconds after this video to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. These things are free and help the show grow. Thank you. Rudy Giuliani filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy while he seeks to appeal the $148 million judgment to Georgia election workers Ruby and Moss, whom he defamed with lies about suitcases of ballots and vote-flipping USB drives. The unbuckled Borat star filed for bankruptcy the day after Judge Howell handed down an order that would immediately force Giuliani to pay out the judgment awarded to Ruby and Moss. Judge Howell ordered the parking lot press conference king to start paying the debt immediately, noting that Rudy Two Watches would not be given the typical 30 days out of concern that the former New York mayor would conceal his assets. The filing lists over $152 million in debt, which includes over 7 figures in back taxes, over $1.5 million in debt to 2 law firms, and the defamation judgment. The filing also lists unknown amounts of debt from several pending lawsuits, including ones filed by Smartmatic and Dominion Voting Systems, Hunter Biden, who filed a civil lawsuit against Giuliani and his former attorney, Robert Costello, alleging the two had tried to hack his personal devices, and another lawsuit from the former employee, Noelle Dunphy, whose lawsuit alleges Giuliani began abusing Ms. Dunphy almost immediately after he started working for him. For those that don't remember, it notes that Giuliani made it clear that satisfying him, which came virtually anytime, anywhere, was an absolute requirement of her employment and of his legal representation. She claims Giuliani was rarely sober and relied heavily on Viagra. Chris Matei, who represented parents of Sandy Hook, said there are drawbacks and benefits for the plaintiffs in Giuliani's bankruptcy. The downside is that any collection is put on hold until the proceedings are over, but the upside is that it's much harder for Rudy to hide or spend down his wealth. The whole idea for Giuliani here is to try to show what his assets are so he can then try to leverage a settlement in the bankruptcy court that is far lower than the judgment. But because the debt cannot be eliminated through bankruptcy, they are likely going to have a lot of leverage to say, we don't want to take pennies on the dollar. Now, for a guy who said money is the root of all evil, he's sure scrambling to try and keep his. Alex here, still in the bunker with Marjorie again, a good dude. Well, MTG's three-toed stocking is hung by the chimney with care. I don't really have a chimney in our off-the-grid bunker, but I have a solar-powered electric fireplace, so I'm not at the mercy of the globalists trying to force Saudi oil and imported kilowatts into my living space. Now, I do have a lot of Christmas decorations in the bunker, okay? I do, because Donald Trump made it possible to say Merry Christmas again. Before he was president, I don't even think we did anything in December, but my brain is mostly paced from years of high-dose supplements, roids, and whenever Don Jr. leaves, when he comes over to party like it's 1999 to try and escape the fact that his father may be going to jail, okay? Now, Marjorie and I have been cozying up to the fireplace because, like all present-day dum-dums, we have our TV inches above a major heat source, okay? We've been binging on holiday movies, but I find it hard to focus on the films, since right below the TV is that deformed stocking. That thing is a beacon of doom, telling me we will reach the inevitable chill part of the evening, and I will have to avoid the Georgia Gremlins' awful appendages. Dear Santa, please get Marjorie Taylor Greene new feet for Christmas. Okay, it is getting very hot in here, alright? And as much as I dig the festive fireplace vibe, we are going to start losing layers. It is go time. But if I catch sight of those things that look like Vivek Ramaswamy Ding Dong's tour bus ran over Clark Griswold's overcooked turkey, and then they tried to moisten it up with Rudy Giuliani's dollar store hair dye gravy, we are talking 7 biscuit toes, as loose as the screws in her Mickey Rourke and the Wrestler-looking head, with every deranged digit spaced with so much pasty white toe jam she will need to borrow Guilfoyle's pot lifter to remove it. Because what is the rule, MTG?
The socks stay on.
The socks stay on.
So this has really been bothering me this Christmas season. When did mall Santas make it their mission to attempt to entertain the parents instead of focusing on the kids? My son asked a Santa if eggnog was okay. And then the Santa asked him, "What are you going to put in it?" And then looked at us for a laugh. While my son sat there like, I'm going to put eggnog in it. I mean, I just thought I'd change it up for you. Then the next Santa we encountered, my son asked what kind of cookies he likes best. And he said he doesn't mind as long as we keep them off the ground because the reindeer like to doo-doo on them. Again, looks at us for a laugh. My son's just like, huh? What? The third Santa, this was in a restaurant. We went for a holiday brunch, and the Santa looked the part. He's great. I'm excited. Then Santa asked my son what he wants for Christmas. My son says marbles. He loves marbles. And Santa goes on about how Mrs. Claus lost her marbles, and he likes getting out of the North Pole. Again, looks to us for a laugh, doesn't get it. My son's confused. Santa is supposed to be special and magical. It's not for us. It's for the kids. And I'm 3 for 3 on this weird stuff. Has this happened to you? Do you agree with me? Have you witnessed this? I'm curious if I'm alone here. Let me know in the comments. He's the best the USA has never had. Whatever your comments. MAGA Tears. The TDS channel. MAGA Tears. I wish more of people were interested in Ramaswamy. America is a business and we need a businessman. MAGA Tears. In my last video, I discussed this clip of Matt Gaetz getting owned, and I wasn't aware at the time who pulled the awesome prank. I soon learned it was Michael Picard. When I found this out, I noted it in the pinned comment and in the other comments. Make sure you check him out. Well played, Michael.
Dear Santa Claus, please get Marjorie Taylor Greene new feet for Christmas. She's disgusting. That thing is a doomsday beacon telling me that we will reach the inevitable chill part of the evening, and I will have to avoid the Georgia Gremlins' awful appendages. Reminding me that I'm sharing a couch with a woman with the fever dream beast feet.
It turns out Boss Hogg was the good guy. Guess we could have predicted the fella in a half-button shirt playing a moonshiner with a Confederate blah, 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 blah.
Since right below the TV is that deformed stocking, reminding me that I'm sharing a couch with a woman with fever dream beast feet.
Pakistan. 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 They're coming from Pakistan.
But if I catch sight of those things that look like Vivek Ramaswamy Ding Dong's tour bus ran over Clark Griswold.
She claims Giuliani was rarely sober and heavily relied on Viagra.
If you can't see it, it means you don't use it, right? That thing is a beacon of doom, telling me we will reach the inevitable chill part of the evening, and I will have to avoid the Georgia Gremlin. We are talking 7 biscuit toes as loose as the screws in her Mickey Rourke and the Wrestler-looking head with...
I've joked many times that Rudy looks like he crawled out of a P.F. Chang's dumpster. It's soy sauce on his head.
Well, MTG's three-toed stockings.